Thank you. I think that what you just shared with everybody is just super important. It meant a lot to me. I'm not an addict, I'm not an alcoholic, but that meant a lot to me. That encouraged me during this time because we all have our vices, you know? And if we're not staying true to what we know has worked for us and more importantly, worked for other people, we can be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had a couple of hard days recently, and I found myself doing some of the things that you just talked about, but I didn't really know why, but it's making sense more to me, even just sitting here. But I wanted to, go ahead.
As an ex-alcoholic and drug addict, one of the things that prison taught me that actually was good, one of the few things that prison taught me was having, what do they call it, a schedule, doing the same thing over and over, having a routine, having a daily routine where I do the same things on a daily routine, because it keeps me normal. If I've got a routine and I rely on God and I know God and I get the faith built up, and by trusting in Him and seeing things happen in my life that happen good, when something bad comes out of the middle of nowhere, I got that routine to go back to. Yeah. I can continue on, and I continue praising God, I continue praying, I can continue doing the same things I'm doing, and that routine makes life so much easier for me today. I'm a routine guy, and it was one of the only things I can say about prison that actually helped me.
Well, and I will add to that, there's a lot of people that know you that will watch this, but my prayer is that there are going to be people that watch this that don't know you, and I can affirm everything that you just said. I've known you for a little while now, and you are very much in your routine. You come every Thursday night to worship. You have brought many people here to church to support them. I visited your place the other day, and it was really cool. I loved seeing that. And one of the first things that you said, everybody that's here, I don't remember exact words you said, but say that everybody that works there.
Everybody here is either in recovery, an ex-felon, a felon, or in the prison, in the penitentiary at the time. So somebody gave me a chance when I got out. So it's my responsibility to pass that on to the next guy. You know, God has given me a gift, so if I don't pass it on, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's really cool. And when I texted you the other day, and actually Robin's the one that pointed me to you, because I had talked to her. I said, hey, I want to kind of do this thing, and I thought of Robin. And she goes, why don't you talk to Jay? And so so she was really. But the very first thing you said it's possible, but let me talk to my sponsor.
Yeah.
And so I just appreciated that so much because, you know, as successful as you are and with your sobriety, you automatically knew that you needed to talk to your sponsor.
Yeah.
Speak on that. What does that mean?
Well, I just wanted to when I talk to my sponsor 2-3 times a week, and I needed to make sure, I knew that I needed to do the right thing. And I was 99% sure this was the right thing to do. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't breaking any AA rules or AA traditions or anonymity, because AA is built on anonymity, and they have the 12 steps, but the group goes by the 12 traditions, which is the rules for the group. And I wanted to talk to him first, see what he thought, run it by him, and he was good with it. You know, a lot of decisions, not a lot, most of my decisions I run by my wife and my sponsor.
Mm-hmm. So broaden that for the sponsor, for people that may watch this that don't know anything about AA.
Yeah.
They don't know the experiences. What does it mean to have a sponsor?
For me, my sponsor is Scott, and he hurts my brain. I'm not going to lie to you. He's got so much insight into stuff that I never would have thought of before, and he's changed the way I think about God and people. AA helped as well, but he led me through. He gave me his experience to straighten it up. He told me how he did it. He showed me what he did, you know, and I could relate to it. Nobody can relate to another alcoholic or addict like an alcoholic or addict. You know, if a doctor comes at me and, you know, we're never, as alcoholics and addicts, we're never totally honest with a doctor or a psychiatrist or psychologist. We got our motive, you know what I mean? But another alcoholic or addict can explain to me what they're going through, and I can relate to it, and then that alcoholic or addict who's recovered can show me how they got through that. They can show me how they dealt with death, job loss, all these bad things without getting drunk or high. And I can take what they've used because somebody did the same thing for them. Somebody walks them through the steps. This thing's been around since 1932. And so millions of people have been helped by this,
Yeah.
and have recovered from a seemingly recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind.
Yeah.
And so what my sponsor does for me is what his sponsor did for him. He walks me through the steps. He gives me advice. He doesn't tell me, do this, do that. He lays all the facts out for me and then lets me choose. He kind of sometimes pokes me in one direction or another. Jay, don't you think, or Jay, don't you think that's bad? But he's got 26 years of sobriety. When you look for a sponsor, look for somebody who has what you want out of life. So if you want somebody that's laid back, goes to a 9-to-5 job, blue collar, pick somebody like that. If you want somebody that's successful, it's on you to pick who you want. Pick somebody that you can relate to. In other words, don't pick somebody that you have nothing in common with, because it's going to be a little bit harder for you to relate. Scott's successful. He's highly intelligent. He's an ex-minister. So he comes at me with the God angle as not so much, and he's changed the way I thought about God. He's brought me through a lot of spiritual experiences. And in a spiritual experience, I found out, or what the Big Book says is a spiritual experience, is that the change in mind sufficient to bring about recovery from alcoholism doesn't mean you have to have a bright light experience. I always thought you had, man. I always got God had to come through that window, lay his hands on me. I always thought, man, I got to get baptized, and I kept getting baptized and coming up out of that water mad, wet and mad. And I always thought a spiritual experience was God coming and talking to me, but it wasn't.
You were worried they were going to hold you under there a little too long, right?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. And what I found out was God just doing little things in my life through other people, putting situations in my life. Like when I was trying to get sober, when I gave the dope up, I would have money in my pocket, there'd be no dope around. Or there'd be dope around and I have no money in my pocket. Just little things,
Yeah.
I'd go to get it and he'd put something in my way to block
Yeah.
me. And I can't explain it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, brother, but I know there's a whole chapter in the Big Book called How It Works.
Yeah.
And it tells you how it works. You know what I mean? It's just God doing for me what I cannot do for myself.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so for you out there, if you, he's talking about wanting to find a sponsor that matches kind of what you're wanting. So if you're wanting to grow a big beard, this will be the sponsor for you, right?
Beard's rule. I'm willing to sponsor. I sponsor a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I help a lot of guys. Oftentimes I'm not successful. Oftentimes, they go back out and get drunk or high.
Because they have a choice to make.
They have a choice to make. I can't. The first couple of times they did it, I was like, man, did I not do something right? Did I not lead them down the right path? Or something I could have said, something I could have did? Did I not do enough? But my sponsor pointed out to me just what you said. They have a choice to make on their own. And the reoccurring theme throughout it, I'm 100% successful with my sponsors. Because you know why? I'm still sober. Mm-hmm. That's selfish. Don't get me wrong. It's selfish. But it's a selfish program. And if I don't stay sober, I lose my wife, I lose my kids, I lose my house, and everything. And, even worse,
So we're going to bring it to a close now,
Okay.
but I want to come back to something that's important to you, and that's your family.
Definitely.
Tell us about your family and how important they are to you.
Man, they're the reason I get up every morning, the reason I go to work. Man, I love them. It's like, I would do anything in the world for them. Lay down my life, all that stuff. I was so scared when I got out because I didn't know if my girls would forgive me. And man, I've got 5 kids. My 2 oldest still to this day don't want anything to do with me. They don't talk to me. And my grand sponsor, who's got more years sober than I have alive, he has 49 years sober, told me that he has a daughter that he's not talked to in 41 years. So again, back to that sponsor relating things that can relate to you down the road. And at the end of the day, I have to be all right with that. That's God's decision. I'm blessed. God brings so much into my life. Sometimes I feel like a country and western song backwards. I got a wife, got the wife back. I got the truck back, got my kids back, got the dog back, and we got a raccoon.
Oh yeah, if you've not seen pictures of the raccoon.
Yeah. So, I mean, my grand sponsor says, good things happen to old drunks who stay sober and surrender. Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't often do it, but I have to remember to surrender on a daily basis, which is hard. Man, it's hard. Ego for me is a beast. But I try my best, and when I fail, I immediately, not always, babe, but I immediately try to ask for forgiveness. Every night in my head, mentally, I go through what they call a mini 4-step. Mm-hmm. And did I do anything wrong today? Do I owe anybody an apology? Was I wrong in this area? How can I correct that? And then I go to bed, and my quick prayer at night is, God, thank you for keeping me sober today. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it,
So what I hear you saying is that becoming sober is not about becoming perfect.
Oh, no. Absolutely
and
not.
That when you become sober, things may still be far from perfect.
Man, and it's not rainbows and lollipops.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, it's taken me a while to get where I'm at. I just didn't get it overnight. It takes hard work. It takes dedication. It takes repetitive doing the next right thing over and over and over again. And you're not going to do it every time. You're going to mess up. You're going to. But the good news is I have a God that forgives me. Yeah. And instead of running from him, I run to him. Look, God, I'm sorry I did this. Please forgive me. And he forgives me. Yeah. And then I try to do that next right thing.
So I've mentioned that I'm not an addict, not alcoholic.
Right.
I've not walked that path. But my addiction in the past has been controlling other people with my anger. And so I relate to a lot of this. And I have found in the past, and I want to know if this relates to everything that you've been talking about, that when I start feeling like I've got it whipped,
yeah.
When I start feeling as if, that'll never happen to me again, when pride starts sinking in, that I have completely taken care of all of the problems of my past, I have found that when I have thought that probably I had just made the worst mistake of my life at that point. And it's the next day when I wake up that I realize, wow, I was very confident, and I was overconfident, and I had messed up before I even finished my thoughts. Is that a true statement?
Absolutely true statement. I do the same thing, Brad. I'm stubborn. When my wife and I get in a fight, I get stubborn, and I don't want to say I'm sorry. I don't want to take the blame. I don't want to say, hey, it's my fault. And usually I'll wait as long as I can wait. And then I'll go back and try to humble myself. Being humble does not mean humiliation. It doesn't mean you got to humiliate yourself. It just means being humble. Back to your control thing. The big book tells you all the world is a stage, and we're merely actors. Mm-hmm. And as alcoholics and addicts and control freaks, because I'm a control freak, if that person would just do what I want him to do, the way I want him to do it, when I want him to do it,
life would be grand.
Life would be grand. But you know what? When they do, I'll always find something they didn't do wrong. Yeah. You didn't do it that way. Or I can find something that's a million things, And so control for me, man, I still do it. I try not to, but it's a work in progress. I'm not perfection. I never will be. There's only one that was perfect. Just keep trying. But yeah, it's absolutely true statement.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And my prayer for you, for all of us, but for especially anybody that's watching, and I'll turn a little bit, is that when you watch this, that you have hope, that you have encouragement, that you believe in yourself, that you believe you can do this, that you can get through this, and that you replay this and you listen to these words of somebody that's been there, that's done it, that is active in helping other people and maintaining his own sobriety, and to know that without doubt, sobriety is possible, maintaining it is possible, but it's a lot of work, and if something's good, it's probably not going to be easy. So that's probably the understatement to everything that's been talked about today. So thank you again.
Thank you,
this has been really good.
Thank you.